All right, Steve Nemeth here for Fat Guy Fitness. This is day 3. Welcome back. Hopefully everything's going well. I will admit yesterday wasn't an awesome day for me. We'll get into that here in a minute. I want to talk real quick. We haven't talked about supplementation or anything else like that. I am all for being as natural as possible. In other words, get your vitamins and your nutrients from your food, right? And the more organic the food, the better. In other words, if you can get it from an actual green pepper or a piece of broccoli, that's going to be much better than supplementing. That being said, though, nothing wrong with taking supplements. You want to make sure you get all the vitamins you can, not to overdo it. So if your urine starts becoming an interesting hue of yellow or whatever, you're just basically pissing your money down the drain. So you don't want to get, just because more is not always better, right? Look for stuff that's worked. Here again, I'm not endorsing anybody. Now you may notice these supplements actually I bought at Medical Weight Loss. We'll talk a little bit about that this morning here. Water also, make sure you're getting plenty of water. Lots and lots of water. You've got to increase your intake of water. I've not been throwing specific numbers or anything at you, and the reason for that is this. I told you Einstein's definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing, expecting different results. You just need to make positive changes, right? We'll get more into how far you need to be, and we'll get into formulas and all that other stuff. Listen, all the formulas in the world, you've heard a lot of formulas. You've heard a lot of things, and you're here probably because you haven't had a lot of success. And you, quite frankly, you're probably to the point like most of us, and you've sort of given up. Well, don't give up. You're in the right spot. We're going to get you there. So Einstein's definition of insanity, doing the same thing, expecting different results. We're going to do different things. We're going to make subtle little changes. So if yesterday you drank 10 ounces of water, then today try to drink 11. Go for 12. Increase it a little bit. Water, if your body's not getting enough water, it actually holds water. Sort of does the water buffalo thing, right? So, and the reason it does that is your body is all about what? Self-preservation. We talked about that already, right? That's why our bodies put fat on us, right? It's just trying to make sure that we've got the energy later on in case we have to escape from something in order to survive, right? Same thing with water. If you give your body plenty of water, it assumes water is available, and therefore what? I don't have to carry as much water, right? If I'm not drinking enough water, your body thinks, hey, water is scarce, so I better hold on to as much as I can. I better retain as much water as I can. And of course, water is weight, and the more weight you have, the harder it is on the heart and all that other good stuff. So drink plenty of water. Make sure you're getting your vitamins. Now, I did mention medical weight loss. I had mentioned in video number 1, all diets work. I've tried a lot of them, okay? I've gone to medical weight loss. I've done the, what's the one that you buy that the Osmond girl was, Marie Osmond was, anyway, the one where the meals came already made. Both of those diets were great. I lost over 30 pounds with both of those plans. The one, Nutrisystems. The Nutrisystems, the reason I like Nutrisystems was the meals came prepared. Medical weight loss, the big thing there, and Weight Watchers, I've never done Weight Watchers. I've heard good things about Weight Watchers. Money, the expense of all of those is the tough part, right? So if you can afford to go to those, do it. Now, let me tell you something about the cost of going to a place like that. When you go and they sit you down and they say, medical weight loss, for instance, hey, come to us for 4 months, it's going to be $1,000. Holy shit, right? $1,000. Are you kidding me? I can't afford $1,000. Well, that's not entirely true. If you figure out what you're spending per meal, right, and then you go to a Weight Watchers or a medical weight loss, or even a Nutrisystems or something like that, and you figure out what you're paying per meal to them, you'd be surprised how expensive food is. And if you're somebody who eats a lot of takeout, a lot of fast food and stuff like that. Anymore, it seems like you're spending $20 a pop per meal anyway. So it doesn't take a long time to look at a 4-month stretch and realize that $1,000 isn't really that out of the question. But here again, I don't advocate any of those. I'm all about saving money. But I'm all about enlisting help. At the end of the day, the important thing is that we improve your health, okay? And the more people we can get on our team, the better. If you're going to Weight Watchers or Medical Weight Loss or whatever, something through, I think some health systems actually offer some kind of a weight management system and stuff like that. The more people you get on your team, the more people that you're held accountable to, the better your chance of success, right? Just because hey, if I got to go and report that I ate a big pizza yesterday, not good. So I spoke yesterday was not a good day for me. I'll be honest with you. Hopefully you guys have done the homework. You've contacted your doctor so that you can get your stress tests and your cholesterol levels and all that checked. Hopefully you've gone out and you've gotten yourself a notebook so you can start writing down when you ate, what you ate, and why you ate. And I know that seems like a pain in the ass because I don't want to do that. I don't want to be right. Listen, your health is important. And if it's important, there's no reason why you can't take 30 seconds or a minute and write down that I ate a piece of unbreaded chicken, unskinned chicken, right? Later on, maybe you will get into, like weights and all that other stuff as far as what your food weighs and all that, because that becomes important down the road. But the idea, why am I having you do that? Well, I want you to think about what you're putting into your body. And if you write it down subcognitively, you're going to think, later on, I may look at this. And later on, do I want to admit to myself that I ate a big piece of cheese or a pizza or a bag of chips, right? So that's how you can hold yourself accountable. Hey, if you can't afford to go to a Weight Watchers, a Medical Weight Loss or something like that, you hold yourself accountable. You already know what's healthy and what's not. We grab stuff to be convenient. And I've said, you need to start planning your food, and the reason you're going to write down when you're eating and why you're eating is because if you're eating because you're hungry, you're waiting too late. Because once you start getting hungry, once your brain starts releasing those chemicals that say, feed me now it's starting to look for the high calorie stuff. Why? Because it's thinking food is scarce. It's not in supply, much like the water thing. So it wants more immediately. So it's going to want like the ice creams and the pizzas and the cheese and the highly caloric fat stuff. So in order to avoid that, you need to be a little bit ahead of the game. So if every 2 hours you're hungry and you're feeling that hunger pain, or every 3 hours, whatever it is, then you need to be, in an hour and 45 minutes, you need to be putting something healthy into your body so that you don't get that craving, so that your body doesn't think, oh my God, food is scarce. Because the last thing in the world we need right now is our bodies thinking food is scarce. So I haven't gotten much into exercise yet, right? So why not? Well, the reality is, if you think about how many calories are burnt doing exercising or walking and stuff like that, I mean, in order to really be burning lots of calories, you got to be pretty much out there at a very high pace, really working a lot of muscles over a good period of time to burn a lot of calories. So in reality, it's actually easier to make sure we're putting less in the tank. Now I'm not saying that we're not going to get into exercise. We're going to get into exercise. I want to maximize our effort right now, right? And exercise, here's what typically happens with exercise. You've reached a point where you say, hey, I want to lose some weight. And here again, I told you, we're trying not to think about this as weight losses, but more as getting healthy, because that's really the key. I mean, you could lop off an arm and you're going to weigh less. But I don't think you want to lop off an arm and go through life without an arm just to lose weight, you know. And essentially, if you look at it that way, hopefully it makes a little bit more sense. The reason is this: your body. Why does your body store fat? Your body stores fat because it wants to save it for an emergency. Now, what happens when you think about the formula, right? I said weight loss is easy, and it really is. All I have to do is burn more calories in a day than I take in, right? So your body has stored that fat. Why? For a case of emergency. It's trying to self-preservation, right? Well, if you start taking in less calories, your body has to start giving up something on it, right? Our desire is that it burns the fat. But in reality, the body knows it's stored the fat in case of emergency. Well, you know what? If you're not using your muscles, then your body says, you know, I really don't need these. And muscle's more dense. I get more fuel out of muscle than I do out of fat. And since I'm not using it anyway, why not take the muscle? And it will. So exercise is important. We're going to need to get into exercising all of the muscles and stuff like that. I want this transition to be easy for you. That's why I'm not really getting into that stuff. How do you increase your activity? If you're sitting, get up and do something. I mean, exercise, it will get into it. I want to make sure we're working all muscle groups. But right now, you have got to just make the decision to get up and move. The first thing you really should be doing, because, oh, by the way, I'm giving you some time as well to get in touch with your doctor. I want to talk to you every day to keep you motivated. I want to get you thinking about how to eat healthy, right? How to enlist more people on our team, right? To make sure that we're working towards a better, healthier us, right? And then we'll get going. So let's talk about that a little bit. Yesterday we talked about why we eat, right? Today I'm going to give you a little saying that I want you to always remember. This is one of my favorite sayings. It's total Steve Nemes saying. I want you to remember this just because it's Steve Nemes saying. No, but because it's important to you. Eating is not a recreational activity. Okay? You don't have to like the taste of food. You should eat with a purpose. Now, I'm not saying to eat stuff that you don't like. But I'm saying, and I've said this to people before, right? Eating is not a recreational activity. We eat to fuel the body, right? So I could put water in my gas tank and make my fuel level read 3/4 of a tank or full, but that's not going to make my car run very well, right? I need to be putting good fuel in the tank in order for my car to run most efficiently. You need to be putting good food into your body, fruits and vegetables predominantly, and not crap, potato chips, junk food, processed stuff, right? And that's where, let's talk about some of these plans. Here again, I've never done Weight Watchers, but I understand the concepts. It's a lot like medical weight loss, right? They talk about portion size. And that can be really tough. So I don't want you to get into measuring food yet, but I want you, when you're taking your notes, the reason for the notepad is when you're taking your notes, I want you to take a look at what are you eating? How much of it are you eating? And think about this. Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. Well, we're going to change what we're doing so that we get different results. Well, one of the things that we do, let's say you go to Kentucky Fried Chicken and you order the 3-piece chicken meal. That's your norm. That's what you've been doing, and that's how you got to where you're at. Well, order the 2-piece, right? That's not hard. You're not calculating calories. You're not weighing food or anything. It's simple math. Hey, I was eating 3 pieces. Now I'm going to eat 2, right? Hey, I was getting the mashed potatoes and gravy. Now I'm going to get the vegetables, right? Those are simple little things, but you need to start thinking along those lines, right? Eat with a purpose. Eating is not a recreational activity. Remember that. Oh, I'm starting a little long here, so let's try to start wrapping this up. I talked yesterday about storing fats, but I forgot. Oh yeah, this is something I really wanted to bring up too, and I'm glad I left myself a note here. We all don't like the vanity fat. That's the outside fat, the fat that we can see. Oh my God, I got a fat gut. That's bad. People see it, they know I'm fat. Yeah, that's all fine and well. That's what I call the vanity fat. It's not good. It's extra weight. Your heart has to work harder and stuff like that. But the fat that I'm really concerned with, your body only has so many fat cells, right? So when you put on weight, and you put on weight because you're adding fats, the fat cells just get bigger and bigger. Well, the problem becomes the body is a hoarder. It will store all the fat it possibly can because it's worried about that emergency, right? So it's just packing. Well, when and I told you men and women put on weight differently because of wherever you move the most, that would mean that your body would have to work that much harder. So that's why men, we tend to put it all around our waistline, and because we tend to be on our feet more. And as a result of that, our legs are always working. So if we put the fat around our legs, our bodies would have to work harder. Our bodies get that, and so our bodies don't do that. So the bad fat is the fat that you can't see. Your body, as it runs out of places to put fat, will start putting it around your organs, and then your organs have to work harder. Your body becomes more dense, so it's harder for your lungs to expand, it's harder for your heart to pump, it's harder for the organs to function. That's the fat we really need to worry about. And burning fat, it's hard to target burning fat. Your body tends to burn fat equally all over. You may store it where it's most convenient, but you're not going to burn it off where it's most convenient. Now, personally, and I've really never heard anybody support this hypothesis, but I think you can target to a degree. Think about the physics of things. There's 3 states of matter, right? You've got gas, you've got solid, and you've got liquid. And the thing that causes matter to change states, quite frankly, is heat. Heat is energy. So if you're working, say, your abdominal area, that becomes warmer. So yeah, you know what? The fat in that area, in my personal hypothesis, would have a greater propensity to want to change to from a solid form to a liquid form. As a liquid, I would assume that the body would be better off to get rid of it. But just so you know, the running line is that your body burns fat equally all over. I want to talk real quick. I do realize I am running a little bit long on this one. I apologize. But, a lot of times we think of things that trigger food, and smell is one big thing. Smell can cause a craving, and it's because your body smells it. Your body thinks, hey, I'm at a point where I want some energy, so what I smell, I want, because I realize that's a source of fuel. Well, what you got to realize is information gets to your brain electronically. Everything is transmitted into an electronical form, and that's how your brain gets things. As a result of that, sight is also something else that electronically is given to the brain, right? So as a result of that, not just smell will trigger a craving. You can see something. Your brain will associate, hey, that picture reminds me a lot of when I saw that on our plate. That tasted good. Things that taste good to us are things that the brain says, hey, well, there's a lot of calories in that. We like that. Give us more of that. So sight can trigger the craving mechanism. We've talked about why our body wants bad stuff, specifically to add calories, so that's why our bodies crave them. And I was going to bring that up again, and maybe I will save that for a later talk, because I told you everybody's pretty much out to get you, right? They just want your money. They don't really care about your health. So if they can add calories to something to make your brain crave it, they will. So everybody have a great day. Don't let the crazy stuff that's going on in the world sabotage your efforts to get healthier. Think about this. If you're doing anything that I've talked about, you're healthier today than you were yesterday, and we're going to get even healthier tomorrow. We're on a journey of changing our lifestyles for the better. Everybody have a wonderful day.